This video is sponsored by Squarespace. From websites and online stores to marketing tools and analytics, build your online presence with Squarespace. Hey everyone, I'm Ace of Clay and welcome to another sculpting video. If you're new here, I'm a sculptor and every week I make a new sculpture. Today I'm jumping back into the monster Disney princess series with Cinderella. And I think she's the creepiest one so far. And before we get started, Winston plushes are available now at aceofclay.com. Don't forget to get yours. He has all the details that the sculpture has. They have been beautifully embroidered. He's got real buttons, fuzzy hair, and even a hang tag with his entire backstory on it. So if you want one, head on over to aceofclay.com and get one while you can. And now without further ado, let's sculpt Cinderella as a monster. Alright, let's get started. Now because Cinderella has a big poofy dress, she doesn't need a base. The dress is going to support her. So I'm creating her shoulders out of the aluminum wire and then twisting it downwards, adding some arms. And then I'm going to take my aluminum foil and bunch it up around the bottom to create her big dress. Once I have the majority of the dress bulked out in foil, I'm going to take some ultralight and continue the bulking process, making it bigger and refining it to be the shape that I want. After getting my bulk to a good point, I'm going to cut out what is going to be a big, crazy monster mouth from the front. This is going to be a vertical mouth, and I just want to cut out that ultralight and foil to make room for it. After some more refining, I'm going to punch out some eye sockets for later. And now I just need to bulk out her torso and get her neck in. And just like that, she's bulked out and ready to bake. Once she's baked and cooled down, it's time to cover the whole thing in clay. I got these nice even sheets by rolling the clay through my pasta maker on the thickest setting. Just want to get it all over all that ultralight and the inside of the mouth here. One way to kickstart the smoothing process on large surface areas like this is to just roll an acrylic roller on it like that, and then go in between everything with your fingers to further smooth things out. And now it's time to start making this thing look like a dress, and you know how we do that? We add folds and wrinkles. This is a process that all of you should be familiar with. I've got this snake of clay that I flattened out, and I'm going to blend it into the surface to create the first wrinkle. I'm then going to frame everything with more folds and get this thing looking like fabric. Now for the next part, Cinderella has these two poofy bustle things on either side of the dress, so I'm just going to add those now. And of course, we've got to add some more folds and wrinkles. Now to make my life easier when it comes to the painting process, I'm going to mix some green and red together to create a nice deep red tone that I'm going to use to color the inside of the mouth. This is going to make it easier because once I add all the teeth that I want to add, I won't have to try to shove my paintbrush behind them to paint the back of the mouth. And I'm just going to take the large ball stylus and create a nice quick little texture. Now I'm going to finish up her torso and sculpt her a little head. Now the Cinderella portion of this sculpture is going to be a zombie, so we're not going to give her any eyes and she's going to have a big screaming mouth. And a tiny little nose. Now I'm going to set the head aside for now and finish the neckline of her dress with this tiny snake of clay. I'm going to blend the outer edge in with the rest of the dress so it looks like she's got separation from her skin and the dress. Now one of the main design elements I want this Cinderella or Cinderella to have is going to be a giant creepy tongue. So I'm wrapping my tapered snake of clay around a piece of wire, and this is cos clay, so it will stay flexible after it's baked, and I can position the tongue however I want. Now I'm just going to attach the tongue by inserting the excess wire into a pre-poked hole with some Bacon Bond, and then we're going to position it a little bit and then start texturing it. For a realistic, creepy tongue texture, I'm using a toothbrush. This works great. Now it's almost time to add our sharp teeth. So first I need to add the gums. I mixed this color by adding some more Super Sculpey Original to my red color I mixed for the back of the mouth. And I'm just going to add these snakes of clay on either side. Once those gums are on, I'm going to brush on some Bacon Bond and then start poking in my cosplay teeth. These have all been pre-baked, as you can tell, so it's super easy to poke them right into the gums. Ah, she's really coming together. And let's poke some teeth into the tongue, because why not? We've already come this far. Alright, now to finish off the mouth, I'm going to add some strips of clay on either side to make it look like the dress fabric is opening up and showing you that amazing monster inside. Now we're going to do a couple touch-ups here and there and dab on some Bacon Bond and then poke in her head. And now it's time for some big bulgy eyes. After a little more refining, it's time for another bake. Let's get her into the oven. And once she's baked and cooled down, we gotta pop on her hair. Let's give her her nice little updo that she's got. First add some Bacon Bond, then add our base layer of clay, her little headband, and earrings, sans ears. Bet you didn't know Cinderella doesn't have ears. Google it. I'm gonna add the little top piece of hair, and add some lines in it, and then pop on her bangs. All right, we're gonna take a quick break from our video to talk about our sponsor, Squarespace. Whether you're a big business, a small business, a freelance designer, or sculptor like me, Squarespace has everything you need to showcase your brand, sell your products, and more. I've been using Squarespace for over 4 years now, even before they started sponsoring me, and I could not be happier with my experience. Their products are so streamlined and so easy to use that managing my website, aceofclay.com, is truly a breeze. Some of my favorite features include the portfolios and galleries. In my line of work, I have to show my art to the world, and Squarespace's beautiful portfolios allow me to do just that. I opened my online store where I sell stickers, posters, plushes, and more, and Squarespace makes everything so easy. I can track my inventory, print shipping labels, I get notifications when something sells, and everything I need is right there in the platform. You can even sell digital downloads. They really have everything you need to start selling online. And at this day and age, if you're an online business, you've got to have a social media presence, and Squarespace allows you to integrate all of your social media platforms into any page of your website. So if everything I said sounds good, head on over to squarespace.com, start a free trial, and when you're ready to go live, go to squarespace.com/aceofclay to save 10% on your purchase of a website or domain using my code ACEOFCLAY. Thanks again, Squarespace, for sponsoring this video. Now back to our sculpture. And there's the bangs. Let's stick those on and get those detailed. Now for her dainty little arms, I'm going to make these out of clay too, just so I can reposition them if I need to after she's baked. I'm going to add my snakes of clay to that wire and shape them out over the course of like a half hour, because arms are the death of me next to hands. And for the hands, since they are so tiny and my hands are not, I just stuck on the fingers individually because it was easier. Now I'm just going to cap off her long gloves, blend those in, and repeat this process on the other side. I'm going to add her shoulder pieces, shoulder caps, sleeves, whatever you want to call them. Going to dab on some Bacon Bond, and then I made these out of clay too, just so if I reposition the arms later on, I don't have to worry about anything breaking. Now for the last step, before her final bake, I'm going to brush on some clay softener to remove fingerprints and smooth everything out. And let's take a look at how she's looking. Very nice, very nice. Now let's get her in the oven. And now it's time for paint once she's cooled down. I'm going to start with the light bluish silvery color for her dress. And it is my understanding that in the original Cinderella movie, her dress is actually silver, not blue. And the only reason we think it's blue is because of all the Disney princess merchandise that's out there, and they made her dress blue for some reason instead of silver. So I'm going to go with the more recognizable light blue color and go from there. Now let's add this lighter blue for the bustle things. Now, to stay consistent with our blue theme that we've got going on here, we're going to paint her blue too, which I think is fitting for her expression. Now, I am so glad that I used that colored clay for the back of the mouth, because this would be a nightmare to paint right now. I just have to paint the tongue and the teeth, which will be easy. So I'm using my Army Painter color Crusted Sore to paint the beautiful tongue. Once that red base color is on, I'm gonna dab on some blue to make this even more gross looking. And we're gonna take a break from the mouth and paint the eyes this nice bright yellow color. All right, now for the teeth. I'm gonna go over them in this color that's called Banshee Brown. It has great coverage. I don't have to do 2 coats, so that's super convenient. Alright, just a couple more things to paint and then we can start dirtying her up. Now using my Army Painter washes, I'm going to sort of antique this entire thing. Once I have that base wash on, I'm going to go in with a darker color and really focus it around the mouth and bottom of the dress. Now I'm going to add some slitted pupils on the eyes. And for the last step, I'm going to go in with some Americana Triple Thick Glossy Varnish and glaze the tongue, teeth, and eyes. This is the shiniest varnish you're going to get without using resin. Alright, now say it with me. And she is done! Cinderella as a monster is complete. Let me know how you think I did in the comments. I think she looks cool. Definitely the creepiest Disney princess that I've done so far. I really like the tongue. I think it really adds something to her, and I like that it's bendable and I can position it however I want, and her arms can bend too. And I don't know, I think she's cool. Again, let me know what you think of her in the comments, and as always, thank you so much for watching and being here. Check me out on Facebook, Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, TikTok, and Threads at Ace of Clay, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.